Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Something Something podcast. My name is Eric Kasloff, and with me, as always, is Larry Sands. How's it going, Larry?
All things considered, Eric, everything is good.
Yeah, man.
It's been kind of crazy, right?
It's been a crazy, start to the year.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of stuff going on. With everything, it seems like, right?
Yeah, it's like the year's only 2 months in, and it feels like it's almost over.
I know. I can't believe it's almost January
Yeah.
2027. It's crazy.
Well, can you believe we're in 2026 already?
No.
I mean, the war with with the machines, didn't stop. What was the, oh my God, and Terminator?
Terminator?
What was
Yeah.
it called? Skynet. The war
Uh,
with Skynet never started. We never got flying cars.
no, but we did get better filmmaking equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
No, man. How is everything with you, buddy?
Well, man, I think if you're on my social media, you saw I had a seizure for the first time in
Right.
11 years,
I know.
which was a pretty funny and scary experience.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then, every time, we'll talk about my thing later,
yeah.
but the world of entertainment lost one of my heroes. I've talked about this a lot. The main reason I became a filmmaker, I would love to tell you it was Wes Craven or Spielberg, but it was honestly the TV show Dawson's Creek and
Right.
Dawson Leary, James Vanderbeek,
Yeah.
who passed away. That was I haven't taken a celebrity's debt that hard in a long time.
And particularly, I think because it's our generation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think when you look at like the fragility, is it fragility? The fragile
Fragility,
part
yeah.
of life, right? And it's
And
so
hey, I
fragile.
found a perfect way to segue into our guest by talking about this.
No, no, yeah. I mean, it's when it happens to people that we grew up with and kind of they came into our living room, right?
Yeah, I mean, my whole way of dressing was very preppy Dawson's Creek style for a long time.
I
But here's where I can find a way to connect it. His death really showed how messed up the medical industry is. I mean, here's a guy who was very, very famous,
hmm
and all of his money had to go towards his health care because
Right.
he couldn't get health insurance.
Which is wild. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
in this day and age.
yeah, and he wasn't just, one TV show. He had other shows, but health insurance just didn't work for him. And it's crazy that in this country that could happen.
Right.
Now, we saw a movie recently that's kind of about another way to cure disease. Maybe not the way I would go.
Are you sure?
If it was my daughter or a family member, yeah, I probably would go that far.
Okay, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you'd put them through that and you wouldn't do it yourself?
Oh, if for me, yeah, I
Okay.
guess, yeah, I
Oh,
would. If I had to go through it for someone else, I would.
like for me?
Well, not you, someone I
What?
actually care about. Introduce our guest now, Larry.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. We have Toby Poser and John Adams, the Adams family. Welcome back to the show.
Larry and Eric, thanks for having us back.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys. Always great to see you guys.
Oh
Thank you.
man,
Always good to have you back. I can't count
yeah,
how many. I think, yeah, you've been our guest more times than anybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
well, that's great. You guys have
yeah,
been rocking with us at the beginning.
It's so beautiful, I know, to look at that, story together is a beautiful thing. It's really wonderful. I love it.
it
Yeah.
is. It is. I watched Mother of Flies last night, and it's one thing when I watch a movie, especially a horror movie. my wife sat down and watched it with me, and this is a testament to how good you guys are. She sat down, and obviously through me, and we talk all the time, and we know you guys, and we watch everything you guys do. We watched it together. She was like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh." And it was so um I don't even know how to describe. It was just so good. And it was such a moving um film to watch, especially being a dad and a daughter, right? I mean,
Thank you.
it's oh yeah, yeah. And and I guess we have really kind of like grown up with you guys, you know? Um and been able to talk to you guys and Zelda, watching you guys, John, you and Zelda, um, is just so magical and moving.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That was a great Mother of Flies was a great experience for all of us. We really got to talk about our lives. That was a super fun movie to make, believe it or not, because we did get to talk about the experiences that we've had in the medical world and just in the world. And we got to change roles. So Zelda got to, in a sense, play through my experiences. We had Toby be a doctor, but she got to, in fact, be looking at the other angle of her own experiences. And so it was a great way to make a new soup out of old history
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
young history too, right? I mean, it's like Zelda's new experience with, you know, things to come was the other thing that we explored. So it was really, really positive for us. We just wanted to talk about life and death
Yeah.
and how they hold hands and how beautiful they both are.
Yeah. I think we put the cart before the horse a little bit. Tell us the story
Yeah.
of the new movie, Mother of Flies.
Yeah, Mother of Flies is about a girl who has received a deadly diagnosis. Um, she has a reproductive cancer that's come back, and she's only like 20 years old. And so she goes with her reluctant but supportive father deep into the woods to seek the help of a recluse there, to seek her dark magic. And it's about their 3-day journey.
Man, oh man, what a 3-day
Wow.
journey. I tell you
Yeah.
what. Um, uh, and I don't, okay, I know it's been out, what, for a couple weeks now, right? For
Yeah.
almost a month. And I certainly don't want to spoil it. But I mean, how can you talk about a movie and not get into the weeds with everything, with what's going on? Um, I guess to talk about when you guys wanted to make this movie, your next movie, Mother of Flies, how did it start? What were the conversations like about what you wanted to do, how you wanted to create your next film? What was that conversation like?
Yeah, we always have so many ideas. We all come up with ideas. We all pitch ideas about what we want to do, what our next horror movie is going to be. And this one just landed really well. And it actually came from kind of like a little bit scary news. Zelda came back with a test that says she has the same proclivity, very high proclivity to have the cancer that Toby had.
Mm.
And so it deals with something called Lynch syndrome. And so it was like, fuck, this is
Yeah.
heavy. And we immediately were like, we didn't even have this as an idea, but right when we heard this news, we said, you know what? Let's figure out how we can make a movie about this situation, about cancer in our family. And and that's what we did. And we set out to write a good story. We knew that the goal of this movie was to show that science generally saves you from cancer, but you pay a heavy duty price. And so we turned it into a witch movie where a witch symbolizes science. And and off we went. And then it really went fast. We really went fast because basically everything is pulled from real experiences. Those are all real conversations that we've all had. Each and
Wow.
every piece of cinematography is basically representing something that really happened. So it was a movie that was super easy and quick to write together. And we knew the beginning and we knew the end. So this, don't you think this one really flew
Yeah,
pretty fast? Yeah.
this was a pretty seamless process, and especially for us, considering we don't always have a full script going into the movie. Often we love to discover our story while we're shooting. There
Mhm.
definitely was room for that here, but we did go into it pretty much with a big structure that was ready to roll, and we would just jump off from that. Also, we only had Zelda for the summer because she's in college.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
made it,
Yeah.
that really lit a fire under our asses.
Yeah. Yeah. When you guys, so I because I'm gonna say when you guys were shooting this, it sounds like you did like obviously the pre-planning and pre-production on the script, writing, but then on set, there's that beautiful organic thing. What was that like? And did did through this process of shooting this and creating this, did you learn something about, like the family unit that you didn't discover before?
Ooh, great question.
That is a great question. Wow. Um, well, I'll tell you what, I mean, since Zelda, I'll tell you two stories. So Zelda, John had his cancer in 1994, and he had a pretty long, like 9 month brutal treatment of chemo and radiation. I mean, brutal compared to today's standards when medicine has really evolved nicely and more comfortably. And I remember we were making our first movie, Rumble Strips. We were on the road and we were having dinner. And I don't know, the subject of cancer came up, and Zelda she got a little teary. And she's like, see what's up? She's like, I don't want to have cancer. And okay, fast forward to now. She was 20 or 21 when we shot this. And she's learned that she's inherited this thing called Lynch syndrome that I have. It's basically again inherited cancer syndrome. And her strength, it was a beautiful to see her just channel John's story and my story and her potential stories with such strength and beauty and honesty. So for me to witness her doing that was incredibly powerful, strangely cathartic and comforting. Just it just felt like, no, this isn't like a sad thing. This is power. This is a little dose of acceptance and peace. So just exploring that was really new. And I thought that her courage going into it was a real beautiful revelation.
Wow.
That, that's that's quite a statement. And I think this is why we love you. This is why I love you guys, and I appreciate you as not only filmmakers, but like people. And this is weird, like that actually like care about things that they do and write and produce and put out there for people. Um, you you man, just the idea that you guys are first and foremost a family and that can work together
Yeah.
and and to create a statement about your life. It's kind of like, like when you have musicians and they write about their life in a beautiful, horrific way. They talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And and you guys do that so well. You guys do it very well. And I think that's part of the not the mystique, but that's part of why like you guys are so amazing is that you guys live it and you guys do it and you guys aren't afraid to talk about it and show people the the their side that they don't want to deal with, you know?
And the
Well,
fact that,
thanks.
when something like that happened, option one would have been just be the op you could have just been depressed and go down one route, but you thought you took it and made art out of it and gave hope. for the situation, which is so admirable of you all. Now, my question leading into that is back more to the filmmaking side. You really went back to your roots with this one. Hellhole was a much bigger production,
Hmm.
probably the biggest undertaking you guys have done. This one seems like you went really back to just the four of you and
I love it.
maybe
Yeah.
some crew people. And I think you shot it in your area again, right? Or where did you film this one?
Yeah, back home and still back to the four of us plus Trey, our effects guy,
Yeah.
um, and our family. You know, he's now our family. We should just start calling him Trey Adams. But or maybe we should be all that. Maybe we should change our last name to the
Lindsay.
Lindsays. Yeah. Um, so Hellhole was a great experience for us because we got to, a lot of people are like, oh, you should make a bigger movie. You should shoot a movie with a crew. You should things like that. And so we wanted to see what that experience would be like. You
Yeah.
can't, you gotta try new things. You gotta try to understand what you're possibly saying no to or what you should say yes to. So the only way to do that is to say yes to things, do them, experience them, and then decide whether you like it. And I think what we really learned about ourselves is we love the joy of filmmaking and the joy of hanging out together. That means Toby, John, Lulu, and Zelda, and the people in our community. And that includes the bigger horror community. It's like we have a great rapport with just regular people. And so after making a movie with a with a within the industry kind of architecture, we realize there's something really magic about making movies in a small town with real people and
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And we also see that the horror community has given us permission to make movies about small people like us in a small environment without lots of money and without lots of lights and without lots of bells and whistles. So we're going to take that and enjoy that because it brings us so much joy.
That's awesome. And I'm happy to hear you say that because it's not sticking in your comfort zone. It's sticking in your zone is a better way. Yeah, you guys could have gone on and done another bigger movie, but you did the right movie for you at the time. Maybe two movies down from now, it'll be doing a bigger movie again. But as long as I always say, don't tell the story you want to tell. Tell the story that wants to be told. And it sounds definitely like Mother of Flies is the story that wanted to be told right now.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
You're
thank you. That's
spot on.
You're spot on. I
Definitely.
also think there's something fun, and I feel like we have a community that's walking beside us, like you guys, that is allowing us to try to expand our storytelling, like expand our production, continue to learn and to grow into ways. It's like we've had such great support. No, make another one by yourselves and try to improve, or in various ways. And so we do have this permission from this great community to try to continue to learn and become better storytellers, become better technically, sound wise, cinematography, quote production. Because in the end, something like production is is something that blood, sweat, and tears can actually improve. It's not necessarily money.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
you can look at $100 million movie and see that it's incredibly well produced, but for some reason, it really doesn't look that good because
Right.
it might lose some of its honesty.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And no joke, I was watching this last night. I was like, "Oh my God." You guys have staples, right? Your cinematography, your expansive it's so beautiful. the frames and the I mean, I was just thinking to myself watching it, I go, my God, just to be able to just see it and even just to do it. Because I don't think people have the wherewithal, I think, to imagine or envision like an expansive I don't know, I'm caught up in the romanticism of it all because the way you guys tell stories, your practical effects, your visual effects and how you do it on your own. And
Hmm.
I think John, I think you're right is anybody can do anything with money. I
Yeah.
mean, I literally thought to myself, my God, this is the best movie that is yet that you guys have done. And
Wow.
seeing them all, the Deeper You Dig was amazing, and that was
Yeah.
just you guys. And then watching Hellhole and that was good for what it is, but it's like a band, right? You want to try
Right.
experimental stuff and you go in and hey, let's throw in this, let's throw in this, let's throw in this, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's get back to the studio and just go bare bones. But bare
Hmm.
bones in a way where let's add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And your filmmaking, you, John, Toby, and Zelda, your
Yeah.
filmmaking has reached the pinnacle. I don't know what you should do something horror in space because that's what the next thing would be.
Well, you're talking about a really great point, which is what's the next thing? And
Right.
um saying like it is true that you should make the story that wants to be told. And so trying to there's two things that like we always talk about what do we do next? Like since we've just made a movie, Mother of Flies, it's incredibly personal. It's super folk horror. It's witchy. It's got great or I think it's got great body horror thanks to
Oh
uh,
yeah.
Trey. Um, you can't we're not like, ooh, I got an idea, let's make Mother of Flies 2. You now want to go and you want to kind of be like, okay, let's step into another pile of mud and let's shape something out of a new pile of mud. And so that's what we're doing now. We're making a movie that is, I would say, probably 180 degrees different than Mother of Flies. However, there's one thing that we have now become very clear that's incredibly important, which is just humanity, love, family, and the humanity of being alive.
Wow.
Mm.
And that's the one thing that we don't ever want to lose sight of. We like to put people in, and so now we're putting Toby in a whole new situation. Um, but she's still just a human that you could talk to, that you could hug, that you could eat scrambled eggs with, right?
Yeah, but she's having a really, 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 really bad day.
I'm intrigued.
Me too. I'm like, man, what's next? What could be I just to know and obviously talking to you guys and Toby like setting everything up. You guys are shooting during the day, right? And you guys are
Yeah.
trying to have the light and everything, which when you shot Mother of Flies, did you use lighting at all? I know that's a weird question.
No, it's a great question.
None whatsoever. I mean,
Wow.
we always shoot with natural light. If there's any kind of artificial light, we use the car headlights in a couple
Right.
scenes,
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
the digging scene at the
Oh,
end,
yeah.
scene at the witch's tit.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes if we have a flashlight in a scene, but no, we love what Mother Nature, gives us, and why not take advantage of it? She's there and she's offering it, and it's just so beautiful, we think.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I agree. And I think that that's one of the other things that I love about you guys is you use the light to your advantage and obviously I mean it just it suits what you guys do so well. Um, uh, can we talk a little bit about the practical effects? Because
Yeah.
when you go in and you cut Zelda's belly, and John, when you're vomiting everywhere and throwing up, I mean, I was watching it. Oh,
I
and
was
Toby,
grossed out.
the snake. I can't.
Oh, I
Okay,
closed my eyes during
okay,
that
look,
part.
look. I can do blood. I can do vomit. Almost. I was like, whoop. I can, but snakes. I was like, I don't like
Sam,
snakes. I
I
was like, why
can't
does it
at
have to be
all.
snakes?
I can't
Why?
even see the Jungle Book
Oh,
cartoon without getting creeped out. I'm not trying to
Well,
be cute and funny. I'm serious.
yeah, no, I'm not a natural snake person either. You know how some people are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna lift up this
right.
snake
No.
that I
Yeah.
passed in the woods."
Yeah.
That is not me. But
Oh.
John's cousin, Shane, has two snakes. He said one is like piss mean and the other is really friendly. We're like, let's go with the friendly one. And you know, it was nice. Cooper is a ball python. I got to go out, have some exercise outside, and
Yeah.
and we had a great day with Cooper and Shane. And but I did lie down. I
Ah.
mean, I have videos. I'm lying down and literally the snake is coming towards my open mouth, and I didn't move till it
Oh,
was right under my chin, I
No.
think.
No.
Yeah, and then she
No.
moved, and I was like, "Oh my God, Toby, you moved! It almost went in your mouth." And she's like, "Fuck you!"
She's like, yeah, that's why I moved.
Exactly.
And
And I
that's
realized, oh yeah, wait, we're making a movie. Okay, I got a little carried away, but okay, cool.
and yeah, and Shane was like, "Don't move your tongue. It thinks it's gonna think it's a mouse."
Oh
oh,
God.
not what I
I
wanted
I'm
to hear today. I was,
I
thank you. I'm gonna think about that
Sorry, Eric.
right before I go to bed. That's the only thing I'm gonna think about.
That's crazy. Again, that just goes to show that's the commitment. I don't know if I could. I'd be like, no, you're gonna have to put some dummy, like just do a mouth somehow. I no,
Don't call
Well,
Toby a
it's
dummy.
no. God bless no.
Ah!
well, it's like, do you
Oh
guys ever
no.
see any of the Jackass movies, the Johnny Knoxville and those
Yeah.
guys?
Sure.
Bam
Sure.
Margera said he made a mistake once. He talked about how afraid he is of snakes and he would never do anything with that. And that's why they made him fall into a snake pit
Oh,
in one of
Yeah.
the Jackass movies.
oh,
And
that's
he
crazy.
genuinely was very angry and scared
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, that was a funny scene.
It always winds up funny until somebody gets hurt, and
Yeah,
then it's kind of a little bit more funny. But anyway,
right,
but no.
exactly.
But when you guys were doing the visual effects, or the practical, how long did it take for the belly, and how many times did you have to do it? Did you just say we got to do it once because we only got like one belly?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Go ahead, because Toby ordered the belly.
Well, I mean, like we had these skins from this wonderful guy named James
Bell.
James Bell, who we've gotten like prosthetics from since at least since Where the Devil Roams. And we recycle these skins and these body parts, and he's so great. And so we just basically slit the belly. I mean, there are two scenes when we use it. We use it in the like
Oh yeah.
in the flashback with the
Mm-hmm.
girl who has a stillborn baby
Mm-hmm.
and is dying. And then we use it at the end in another big, climax scene. And basically, and John and I really have fun making practical effects. We just like use what's in our kitchen. We use what we
Yeah.
have. I mean, literally, I feel like a kid when it comes to that. In the house right now, I'm really experimenting with stuff, and it's so much fun for me. And then Trey makes everything look, he takes it the next level. We have
Yeah.
to give him so much credit for making everything look beautiful. But with that, like belly, like in the final scene, I had made kind of like a tumor, and I don't think Zelda liked the look of the tumor. Um, so John found creative ways to shoot that, but we shot it pretty quickly. We just had a lot of goo, a lot of blood. We had one slit that we had to only do once.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of, John, you would know better how you shot it.
Yeah, I mean, what? Well, first of all, buying goo that drips right is actually quite expensive. So Toby's figured out her own recipe for great goo that will drip slow. And it can be manipulated. And I don't know what her recipe is, but it's turned out to be really good and really cheap.
Yeah.
And she did make like some tumors. Also,
Oh,
Blisters,
yeah, bliss. Oh, she did all the
Oh
blisters,
snake
yeah. Oh.
embryos.
the
I've
snake
done those.
embryos. But reaching
Oh.
in to the belly, both of those are real reaching in, but they're composites. So what's really fun is we basically set up a belly with all the goo and all the everything that's inside of the belly. But you have to make it very still. You can't move the camera either. And so you have to do all the belly stuff. And then you have to make sure that within the frame that Zelda goes and sits exactly, you take away all the belly stuff and you have Zelda sit there exactly right. And she also can't move.
oh,
So,
yeah.
but she still has to act. So there's a
Right.
couple things that are hard about it, but I think we're getting better at understanding how to make those things look neat. And then the last thing about it is to kind of frame it so that like when the audience sees the person sitting there, it's not obvious what's going to happen. So you kind of got to frame it a little odd so it's not like, oh, I know something's going to happen right here because of the way it's centered or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
think about that shot, it's a whole bunch of things that I feel like together we're all enjoying getting better at, which is to make things really gruesome but real.
Yeah, yeah, no, watching it, I was like, and my wife, we were like, oh God, no, oh God, oh no. And then when you pull that, and it's funny that you talk about the goo because when you were holding the what turned out to be the little embryo, like the little baby, the goo was drip, and I
Oh,
noticed that I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's gross.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really amazing because I think with this one, um, I got into it more, um, and then it's just when you watch it, and I think the wild card too was Lulu
yeah.
when
Oh,
she
yeah.
came in, and she told the story. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden we were like, oh my God, no. We were literally
Yeah.
screaming
Jaw
at the
drop for
TV.
me at that part.
I was like, no. And my wife was like, oh God, no, it's not true. And then it's just the way that you guys went about and told the story and how the buildup of it is absolutely amazing. Which which brings me to back around to acting. And and John, like you were you were such a dad. And then
All
but
right.
Zelda to see Zelda like fall apart there
Yeah.
uh right before, like three-quarters of the way through, and it was you and her. Um and I know when you're shooting it and when you're in it, it's different, but um I could really tell like Zelda she felt it because I felt it.
Yeah.
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 Um, when you shoot that, and Toby, I'm sure you were right there. How does that make you feel as as parents, but then you are also like actors and you want her to have a good performance, but still your parents. What is that like for you
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah, that's such a great question because that's a constant for us because we are writing, directing, and acting a lot together. And so it's this weird symbiosis where um one moment you're looking at it as like a director, it's like, oh my God, the scene is going so great. And the other one you're a parent thinking, God, my daughter's doing so great. John's doing so great in this scene. Oh my God, she's crying. She's really going there. I love her. And so it's both, it can feel both personal, but also just celebratory as a filmmaker. And it's great that we can feel both those at the same time.
I think another
Yeah.
nice thing at this point too is like the emotional stuff that Zelda had to do. She's really come to enjoy the complexity of being an actress. She doesn't want to do something like that twice though. because
Right.
I think
Yeah.
she's really good at, I mean, I think she likes to do it honestly. I don't think she's like this someone who's gonna, I'm gonna conjure up a sad face and I'm gonna cry. I think Zelda actually has to grab something real and do it. And she will say, I don't want to do this more than once. And
Right.
that was what we did there. She did her thing. A lot of that, the particular scene that you're talking about was all her stuff was shot pretty quick because we'd be like, all right, that let's move on. Uh, and you'd feel a little bad because nobody likes seeing their kid emotionally troubled.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's a great question. No one's ever asked that yet.
That's good. That's very good. Um,
Yeah, because the
I
one thing I've noticed, I think Larry mentioned this too, is you keep getting a little better each movie at different things. You know, the cinematography is growing, the acting, the writing, and now with leaning into the practical effects area, which is, it's got to be fun to constantly be learning something new on the job, literally.
yeah.
It really, really is. You're so right, Eric. And that's one of the beautiful things about working the way we work, which is pretty much back to back films. We kind of don't, it's like the way of the shark. You don't really
Yeah.
stop or you die. And so we take what we've learned from the last thing, we put it into the new thing we're shooting, and then we're learning all over again. It's that's something that I personally love about working with John and Zelda and Lulu is that we're constantly challenging ourselves, rediscovering ourselves, but also kind of falling back on things that we love and that are our strengths, which is we know who likes to do what. And we know that we love each other. And when we work hard, sometimes we fail hard and we have to go back and reshoot it, but then we get it and then we celebrate hard together. And then hopefully we make something that we then get to celebrate on the festival circuit and then talk to people like you. It's like a beautiful, it's like a beautiful reason to just work your ass off all the time. And you can't help but learn. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just built in there. And I do love it.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
can
and
tell
you can
that you
see
guys
it.
have fun. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you watch on screen, and I can just imagine what it was like off and behind the scenes and doing your thing. Um, and there's a beautifulness about the way you guys work. And that's why, again, like when you work with just you guys and a small crew and it's just you guys. That's the beautiful part about this. You guys get to experience everything. Um, what was the biggest takeaway with Hellhole that you brought back into this, or did you just kind of leave it? And this is no way. Did you just leave the experience from Hellhole and we go, we learned a lot, and now we're gonna go back to what we know and what we can jam with. But let's kind of, did you learn anything from Hellhole and bring it over into Mother of Flies?
Yeah, well, do you want to answer first?
No, go ahead.
Um, we definitely learned a lot from Hellhole. I mean, we had a lot of really super, that was a great experience. Um, but I think if I will answer this question for myself, which is what I learned is when you don't have a lot, when you don't have lights and you don't have grips and you don't have vans and you don't have a place to eat and you don't have anything, there's a freedom to that.
Mm,
And that is priceless, that freedom.
Mm.
mm,
And that is what I've learned. And there no like I think we were asked once, how about what would you do with $10 million? And I would give 950,000 away to charity, and I'd spend 50 on a movie because that will just keep it honest and fun and beautiful. And that $950,000 would be better spent somewhere else.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
Wow.
And honestly, I guess that brings up the question is, knowing what you guys are working on now and knowing where you guys came from and where you've been to now, I really am intrigued about the next chapter, so to speak, with your creativity and where you're going to take it. Because is this, do you guys feel that this, not the pinnacle, but really not the pinnacle, but the pinnacle of everything that you've been through um as filmmakers and learning and creating and putting it all into the punch bowl and mixing it up? Do you feel that you could bring more or any more to the next film? That's a weird question again.
No, you've said a great question. I want to hear Toby's answer.
I think that I think that it's important for us to not get stuck on like Motherflies is like a culmination of a lot of our personal stories, and it's where we're comfortable at home. It showcases our house. That's actually our house in the film,
Yeah.
but with trees and everything, poking out of it. And I think it's important not to get stuck on trying to replicate things. I think it's important to flex new muscles and to keep challenging ourselves and trying new things. And that's definitely what we're doing with this new one. With this new one, this is really an exercise in escalating tension. It's something we
Oh.
want to work on, which is just a building and building and building the tension and horror. And the pace. And
Mhm.
so that I know, I think for both of us, that is really high on our agenda. Like, let's experiment with this and see what that looks like and what that feels like. And so then John is shooting a certain way and he's going to edit it a certain way. The score is going to sound different. And that, sometimes when you're taking chances, you're not going to please everyone because there are people who want you to stay on a super
Right.
personal, like, kind of lo-fi level. And then there are others who are like, I want to see what you do with blah, blah, blah. And so I think it's important to let some of that go in one ear, but then out the other, and just work on what is going to build us as actors and that will fit in its own beautiful place in the canon of our work because we're trying new things.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I think it just goes back to musicians, right? You can stick with what you know and everything will be good. Then you could venture out and people will be like, "Man, what are you guys doing? You should go back to your old thing." And you're like, "Yeah, I get it. I get it." But I think as creative people and especially in um like filmmakers, I think it's very, very easy to kind of sit back and go, we did good with this one. Maybe we should make another one. And is it wrong? Probably not. But I think it could get old. And that's why I'm super, super stoked to hear how you guys are branching out. And it's still now you're really building up the can't wait to see what you
Yeah.
guys come up with next. And I know, we're gonna try to wrap up here. But John, I think it's important what you had said is about branching. Oh man, now that I start saying that, I forget what you said, and I know it
Well,
was
I
gonna
know
be
something that you
great.
said that was important,
Okay.
which was you said a pinnacle, and then you're like, and then you kind of were like, but there's another pinnacle. What's the next pinnacle? It's I think kind of what you were trying to say, and you were worried that you were using pinnacle twice. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that you used pinnacle twice because I agree with you. I think that Mother of Flies is a pinnacle moment for us because it is a culmination of me and Toby and Zelda and Lulu and a specific chemistry of working together through 10 movies. Not all of them were horror. And now comes we're building a new building now because we have reached a place where the four of us have done this Mother of Flies movie. It's extremely personal. It's a culmination of everything we've learned together. The four of us are together. But, the four of us aren't as together anymore now. The girls are adults. They live in Korea and they live in
Wow.
Scotland, and they go to college and they're in their own bands. And this is changing. And so we're all now building new pinnacles. Me and Toby, luckily, we're together now where we get to sit around and work on our next pinnacle. And Lulu's working on her pinnacle and Zelda's working on her pinnacle. And ultimately, it's going to be really fun because we're always a cohesive family, always a communicating family unit. So we're all helping each other build our new pinnacles, but it is a different chemistry. And so there is a new pinnacle coming. I think there's 3 pinnacles coming. Toby and me are building one, Zelda's building one, and Lulu's building one. So I loved what you said because it made so much sense to me. And I'm really looking forward to the future. Did you guys hear that?
No.
No.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
What?
we have so much snow here, which is great because our next movie is being shot in the winter. And
Oh,
it's been
Okay.
snowing relentlessly. It's always been below zero. And we have really steep roofs. And today was a warm day, so 2 feet of snow is falling down the roofs, and
Whoa.
it
wow.
sounds like it's
Violence.
so violent, and it comes crashing down, smashes everything all over the
Oh
place. It's incredible.
man. That's that.
Yeah.
Now I know you're gonna find a way to work that
To
in,
work that in
right?
somehow.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are going to send me the audio because you're going to hear it and you're going to be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. You're going to blow it up. And I want that.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
want the rumble of snow coming off.
I love it. I love it. Actually, what it did bring up one. I love that the community, but the horror like Shutter and was Arrow Video
Yeah.
are going along with you on this ride because I think it's really hard these days. Um, uh, to find your jam and your groove and to get people and companies to 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 trust you and to do what you do. And I think that's one of the things that you guys do very well. You're not only you're great filmmakers, you're trustworthy people. And you've
Oh,
been given this wonderful gift, a carte blanche almost now, after how many years? I mean, you obviously start out doing your own thing and then you get to a point where you have commercial success. And you can look at that commercial success and go, "Okay, I love that success, but let's kind of go back to doing what made us get that commercial success and then transform us into that success as well, and not let that success dictate to you what it wants from you." Does that make sense?
you don't
That's
even know
gorgeous.
how much sense that makes. And I need to add that Shutter is a beautiful company that has always held our hand.
Yeah.
As a tiny family, they have never ever said, okay, cool, but we're going, we want you to do this or we want you to do that. And
Yeah.
Yellow Veil, who is our, sales manager, has been gorgeous to us. And most of all, the festivals, you know, have been so generous to us. And you have been so generous to us. This is, in this day and age, an anomaly, this great community, that tiny little artists like us can do this
Yeah.
and that we're all enjoying this together. It's a great testament to us all. And we recognize how lucky it is. But I think it's just a beautiful community. Somehow we're all very lucky that we're a part of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And I'd like to think that we can share in and be able to talk to you guys and have you guys on and talk to you um about really everything, man. The successes and um because I think in the success, because I mean, who wants to hear, well, but also, like, how long have you guys been doing this?
Well, really, we decided we were going to make our first film in 2009. And by 2010, we were making our first film. And then by 2018, um, or 2017, we started to, wade into the horror genre territory. And so since then, we fell in love, and that's where we've kind of stayed on that track. But really since 2010.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
So
I know some of the non-horror movies are on Prime right now. I was flipping through and noticed, and I think I made you aware of one of them being on there because I posted it on Facebook. You were just like, "What? That's on there?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. And we've had a bunch of failures along the way. You know, you talk about failures. We've had some hard failures. We've even had such big failures that we knew they were failures, so they're not even out. We've shot entire movies, edited them, and realized this is a failure.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm. It's good to hear you guys talk about that because I think it's lost on a lot of people because they look at the successes and they go, man, they must have just have been an overnight success, and that's not true at all.
Well, what's that?
No.
Oh man, the my God, the Messi saying, "I'm a 20-year overnight success."
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's my favorite is yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it is. I think I know this has been like a all over. I'm still like enthralled with you guys. And even after Mother of Flies, I think I'm even more giant fans just from not the filmmaker because a filmmaker's standpoint is, it is what it is, but your story and where you
Yeah.
guys are now in your journey. Um is just it's really it's beautiful to see and witness and to be able to talk to you guys. So thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
think with that, it's the perfect way to end this week's episode. John, Toby, we want to thank you so much again for coming on. It's always the highlight of the year, amongst episodes when you're on. Everybody, like we say each and every week, remember, support New Life Village.